La la, la 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 la. It's a theme from Bruckner's Fifth Symphony. Um, what has this got to do with this video? Not a lot, in a way, apart from Bruckner referred to it as his Fantastische Symphony, his fantastic symphony. And personal opinion, because art is subjective, of course, that I find it fantastic. It certainly comes to mind partly because of the mood. I mean, where are we going to go with this? What if I was to be able to prove to you that the Big Bang Theory is true? And what if I can also prove to you that God exists and is equally true? Now, it would seem that we've got total polar opposites. That's quite an important aspect to this. It's important to really hear what is being said here. I hear an expression quite a lot actually, about, wow, that's blown my mind. Well, I think it's safe to say that you don't figuratively and literally see someone with a blown mind. Although I think, what should we say, 2.5 years ago, there was sort of mobile camera footage, and particularly in China, a lot of people seem to have their minds blown. Just an observation, and but you know. So, Big Bang Theory. So we've got something from nothing that's fractalized. It explodes out, it blows. I'll leave you to think about that. Now, there was nothing made that was not first made. Interesting, strange biblical quote. In the beginning there was a faceless void, and God said, let there be light. The Word was made flesh. Let's just think about this. Let's prove God in its fractalized form. Let's go through the actions, and it shows also how that thought creates. Because the Word was made flesh. The Word is a thought that you have. You've already done this many, many times, over and over, and not even realized it. That device that you may be holding right now, for example, when it's on standby mode, look at the screen. It's faceless. I mean, we talk about a surface, the surface of the earth. What about the surface or the face of the phone? It's blank, it's black. There's nothing there, but out of nothing comes something. And you have that thought, I'm going to switch that device on. So, in other words, you are saying, let there be light, and then you turn your device on, and what happens? It lights up. Now you have whatever is on your home screen. You have an image. You have a face that you're looking at, as it were. Because if the earth has a surface, then it's not restricted to a singular human face. So I think hopefully that's clarified, brought clarity, brought Christ or clarity to those passages, and given you a huge clue of who God is. I'll leave you to think about that anyway. Where are we going to go with this? take no thought, perhaps. Let's have a look at this in terms of magnets. And of course, the chakra system. Actually, before we do that, I want to show you, see if I can get this camera to turn around. Is it going to go? Where are we? No, that's took a screenshot. No, it's not going to work. The other day, Thursday I think it was, I was looking up at the windowsill and thinking, shame I couldn't get any flowers from the food bank this week. I had sunflowers and roses. They'd been there for about 10 days and sort of basically dried out, looking a little bit sad compared to what they were like. Imagination, imaginal acts create material facts. Here's a bit of proof. Within half an hour of having that desire and putting that desire out into the field, into the external world, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, responded. I got a message, we got some bunches of flowers here if you want them. Hopefully you can see these. Aren't they beautiful? It's not just one. We've got a second lot here. Hopefully you can see them all right there. And my rather elegant flower vase. You can see what that was. And I'm a great believer in upcycling, reusing things. I mean, it doesn't work with these flowers, but leaving a bit of the spouts, I've got a way of pouring in water with smaller bunches. But out of nothing came something from a thought, from a desire. And how beautiful is that? That's God in action. Because it's the power of creation from the mind. You've done it with the devices. You've said, effectively, let there be light with these devices. Anyway, off on a tangent, an angel of light, you could say, is another expression of that. A bit like the sun is at an angle to the surface of the earth, it's an angle of light. Before we go any further, how did this video start? I was talking to Rudy from Rudy on the Dogs channel, and he said, I've got some ideas I want to run past you to do with what our KX channel was showing about 1902 being an isometric marker. And Rudy is linking in about shaman and how after 1902 you have Sigmund Freud. Obviously before going down the psychological route, you have people like Schopenhauer. But so you've got Sigmund Freud and then Carl Jung. And you've got a situation where, with a shaman, it is about expanding the mind, blowing the mind, as it were. Of course, it's all going on internally. When your mind is blown, your skull doesn't actually sort of come apart. You don't actually literally and figuratively explode. But with the shaman, the psychedelic experience, it's all about expanded consciousness. Now, psychology, the ology means study of, so it's the study of the psyche, of the mind. And of course, applying labels and trying to rationalize and put it into material thoughts. See, I've gone off on a tangent. Getting back to what Rudy was saying, I said, well, now, beautiful example of synchronicity. Only maybe 4 or 5 days before, I'd actually looked at a video by Bill Donahue called The Green Thing. I think that's what it's called, The Green Thing. And so I said to Rudy, I said, well, what you've just suggested and what you're linking together, I can give you a video that I've only just seen that confirms exactly what you are saying. These are these synchronized thoughts. I mean, how beautiful is that as well? So this is a sort of confirming video from an etymological standpoint, from a perspective of magnetism. So, oh yeah, we can't turn the camera around. Let's have a look at this. This is you can see the drawing. We have a pen here, I hope, just to use as a pointer. It's the magnet. Right at the centre is, as Ken Wheeler has shown on Theora Apotheosis, there is absolutely nothing. He's done some brilliant videos on magnetism, and you've got your dielectric, and then you've got your magnetism. And of course, it's just like your thoughts. What you send out, look what happens. It comes back. Comes back to the centre point. You are that centre point. The earthing plane is your conscious thoughts, your lower conscious mind, your ego, as it were, that sort of leads you normally into not so wonderful things. I think you'll also see in this you've got 0, 1, 0. You can also probably see, if you use a little bit of imagination, you've got the O of the organic. This is your field, your information field, your consciousness field. And of course, when you expand the mind, you expand your magnetism. And of course, it comes from this very tiny, almost impossible to see point right at the middle here, the whole point of it. And of course, there's your polarity, how you see in things, whether you're coming from the mind and whether you see things as positive and negative, just like the magnetism. And of course, you've also got the red representing the arteries that pushes out with the blood, and the veins, the blue, the divine feminine, that draws back in. Of course, it's just loops round. It makes a figure of 8 as well. It's yin and yang. It's eternity. 0, 1, and 0 is also in there, and much, much more. But when you're thinking, the electrical circuits of the mind, you're thinking, it stops this working. The dielectric drives the magnetism, as Ken Wheeler has explained many, many times. This is what is meant by Christ says, take no thought, because it switches off, it neutralizes this. You become the observer of your own thoughts. You allow this dielectric to start working, which is part of the magnetism. Dielectric and magnetism are two aspects of the whole. The whole, look, right there. So this is your Kundalini rising. It allows this dielectric to work, and you have that ascension within oneself. You arise, like the symbol of Aries, which is also sort of basically shown at the top here, the two horns of the ram. And then you've got your duality. You can go either way. You can look both ways. You can stay in this dielectric state when you become the observer and allow it to operate. So I thought we'd have a look also at 3 things. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the etymological breakdown of something very revealing, and that is CBD, cannabidiol. I think that's how it's pronounced. Cannabidiol. The THC, the tetrahydrocannabinol, and DMT, the dimethyltryptamine. Little clues in all of those, but we'll start with the numeric values of these things. So CBD. So it's your third, second and fourth letter of your alphabet. So 3, 2 and 4 makes 9. 9 is a number associated with the symbol of completion of man. So the CBD. So what also have we got there? Not just the numerology. Let's look at what the etymology is saying. So CBD. So you see when you just B. Now D has two meanings. Everything has two meanings, but D means death or doorway or deity is another expression of it. So when you see and you just be, it opens a door. It's meditation, it's being still, it is calming the mind, it is detaching yourself from yourself, being the observer of your own thoughts. That's a component part of cannabis, marijuana. This is not a medical advice, this is just giving you testimony, giving you from experience. This is also quoting mainstream web entries. So let's have a look. What have we got for CBD? How long are we going here? 16 minutes. Okay, I might have to split this into 2 parts. And I can't do like Ken Wheeler and say, I'm going to edit that bit out, because this is through recorded, warts and all. This is not the system, this is not the perfect presentation of the news, for example. It just is what it is. So, CBD. Now this comes from Peter Greenspoon, MD, who is the contributor to the Harvard Health Publishing website, September the 24th, 2021. So, just under a year old. CBD is the second most prevalent active ingredient in cannabis. While CBD is an essential component of medical marijuana, it is derived directly from the hemp plant, a cousin of marijuana, or manufactured, sorry about that, pen just dropped, or manufactured in a laboratory. According to a report from the World Health Organization, in humans, CBD exhibits no effects indicative of any abuse or dependence potential. To date, there is no evidence of public health-related problems associated with the use of pure CBD. So that's from Harvard Health Publishing. So I think that's a good time to split this, because 18 minutes 22 seconds. Interesting numbers there. So I'm going to finish off there and see you in part 2.